Oh god. In before spam combat arms. I'm not even joking. I hopped on, like I haven't played CA for like a good 2 or 3 months, and I just hopped on one night, played a bit of the Power Surge S&D. Just got spammed the hell. It was so funny.
Oh,
it
people
was
spammed
so
your inbox
enjoyable.
with just random crap, or
Just no, because most of
for
the
days.
time, most of the times it's not too bad because I don't have too many people. Oh my god, is it you, Chelsea? Yeah, it's not. He's fake.
oh, by the way, UC, how does it feel to know that your YouTube channel is now bigger than Backstar's?
Pretty good. I don't do much with my YouTube anymore because of
Free subs and views, guys! Woo!
I know, right?
But I mean, hey, just I don't know, man. I guess now technically you would be the biggest, or unless I'm forgetting something.
I'll show you another guy.
Oh, okay.
He's a Brazilian.
Is it a Brazilian? Yeah.
Oh yeah, CA Brazil's pretty big down there, so yeah, I would.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I can see.
He's got 49k subs at the moment.
Yeah, that's really good.
Damn.
Does very well. He plays CA as his job. This is what he does in his life. He plays combat arms professionally.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's ridiculous.
It's like nowadays, like it's not so surprising that we see people play like, Call of Duty or something like that for a living, like League of Legends, whatever. But then, so it's like to us, where combat isn't as such a big deal in like the gaming community as a whole. It's like, wow, this guy actually does this for like as a living and supports himself with it. So the fact that he's able to do that is really cool. So.
Because Combat Arms, Brazil, they support esports heaps, and North America, like, what? Esports?
I mean, look at League of Legends. Like,
I know, exactly.
just see how big it is. I know.
I just want to go to their fucking marketing team and shake their head in fury, go and embrace esports, because it's the only way the game's going to get bigger. And they don't.
It's like they refuse to. Like I like how in one of their Q&As that they had that they posted up to the NA website, that it's like someone asked them about, are you going to support like competitive combat arms in the North American scene, because there's one in Europe, there's one in Brazil, and they were like, we'll do our best we can to support the competitive game. And I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
It's like, no, that's sorry, but that's not true. You're not gonna do jack shit about it, and I mean, damn, just like, come on, man.
Oh wow, look at a good old Combat Arms making the shop a bit more a bit hoary. They showed the discounts on the.
Oh my God, they
I
did!
didn't notice
Oh
that.
my God, I didn't notice that, dude.
Holy crap! Profiteering at its finest. And Nexon doesn't know how to run a game, but they know how to make profits.
I mean, there's a reason why people call Combat Arms the cash cow of Nexon. So I mean, what can you?
Nexon hates me, I swear. I tried to reach out to them to do a bit of work with the top. Because did you guys see the Combat Arms Europe top 10 CA moments and shit?
No. Do you have the link for that?
I'll link you to it. Basically, Combat Arms Europe is officially doing their own top 5 play things, and I was happy for them to do it because it was a really good video, well thought out, professionally made, like way more professional than me. And they did really well. And then when I reached out to fucking North America, could you guys help me out or something? Nope, getting no reply, no nothing. They want nothing to do with me. It was quite a good video. I enjoyed it.
Okay, what's going on? Alright, there we go. Okay. So, I've already started up on my live stream, so, about a few minutes ago, so we are already live, and, so I think we'll go ahead and, start the show. All right. So, hey, welcome everybody to the Arms Race podcast. This is a podcast that I have actually been thinking about doing. For I think it's been an idea in my head for a few months now, and what I really aim to try to build here is like, if you guys have ever watched other podcasts like Painkiller already that Woody's Gamer Tag does, or like a really chill, laid back podcast / stream, then that's kind of what I've been going for. So right now we have with me UCD and otherwise known as Undercover Dudes, and Royko64. He's been gracious enough to join us for this podcast at a very quick notice, actually. I think we only contacted each other like 2 days ago, and he got back to me really quickly.
Yeah,
so
like
thanks a lot to you, man, and glad to have you guys on the show.
Swagging.
Yeah. And you guys can find their channels at youtube.com/undercoverdudes and youtube.com/Royko64, if I'm getting that correct. All right. Hey, you guys, spread that sub low. No, just kidding. All right.
YouTube.
So this will be going up on my channel as soon as I can, or as soon as possible. So if you guys miss any part of this, or then you guys can just look at my YouTube channel. I think it'll go up tomorrow, I think, because I can upload these VODs pretty fast. And so, yeah, let's get the stream started, and ask you guys, first of all, to, I guess, introduce yourselves in, like, how long have you guys been playing Combat Arms? I guess, UCD, you can start first.
Oh, far out. How long have I been playing Combat Arms? It makes me really sad to think how long I've actually been playing this game, because I've been playing it for so bloody long. I think, what year is it now? 2014. Jeez, I don't know off the top of my head. I think I started playing Combat Arms 2010, I believe. I was a prepubescent, can't pronounce the word, little 12 or 10-year-old. Hopped on the game, and then I got addicted, started buying NX and became a full NX abuser, and it's just, I don't know, I've been on the ride for so long. I wasn't an open beta or a closed beta player, but I think I could call myself a veteran. Fun days. Had to go and explain myself there. I've been playing it so long.
Alright, and so for me, I've been playing since 2008. Actually, my friend Protagonist introduced. He was actually part of the closed beta, and he told me about Combat. He's like, "Hey, this game's really, really fun. You should try it out sometime." I was like, "Well, okay," because at that time, I think it was all the way back in 2007 or 2000, like early 2008,
yeah,
and back then, I only had like a really, really shitty Dell laptop that I got for like school or something. So I was like, well, I mean, I tried running Soldier Front 1 on it, and it didn't really seem too good, so yeah, I guess I'll try it out. And it came out for public open beta, so I joined then. If you go on my Commoners record on the main page, I don't know if you can see other people's profiles anymore with how the new, like, the data infrastructure set up on the site, but back then when you could, if you looked at my profile, you'll notice that my official join date was like mid-July 2008. So I've been playing for like this upcoming July. I'm gonna be playing for like 6 years, which is crazy to think. I've been playing this game for nearly a third of my life. Oh my god, that just mind. Oh my god, that's when you know you really have no life. But before you're even 20 years old, you've been playing a single game for almost a third of your life. That's when you know you have no life. Don't be like me.
There you go.
But anyways, I've been playing since then, and I've basically, if there's anyone you should come to ask about like the progression, the history of Combat Arms, I don't mean to make myself look like, you know, like an old man here, but I'm probably one of the best people that you can come to if you want to ask, like, oh, you know, what do you think about this particular year or that particular year? So I remember that everything that there is to know about Combat Arms, because as soon as I played it, I fell in love with this game, and I don't plan on leaving it, at least not until like, you know, Combat Arms, you know, so to speak, dies out, or if Nexon shuts it down like they did for Sudden Attack. So I'm gonna be sticking around here until it ends, or until the show stops. So I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that's where I'm stand right now. Royko, would you like to?
All right, I've been playing for 5 years now, going on 6 as well. So I started in 2008, right after open beta like ended, I guess. So it was like just when the initial release was. And I played on this really old shitty computer as well, and that's part of the reason why I ended up quitting for around a year. I think it was like the end of 2008. I ended up quitting for a little while. I went to the PS3, I realized how bad it was, and I went back to the PC and eventually upgraded enough after I started making some videos and stuff. I ended up making enough to buy some sort of like a decent computer, and then eventually, just as time went on, I just invested more money into a PC and then fell in love with Combat Arms ever since.
Nice.
Quote unquote.
Nice. The true, I guess, riches to rags story right there.
Yeah, I remember it was so bad. The games that I did play, it was like it ran okay, but it crashed after every game.
Oh,
like
yeah.
After when I tried to go into another game after my first game that I played, it would crash to desktop, and I'd have to do that every single time.
For me,
so frustrating.
on my laptop, it wasn't so bad where it would crash after every single game. What happened was, I think for like the first year that I played, every time I died and respawned in like a elimination game, it would literally freeze my desktop for 10 to 20 seconds. I would just sit there staring at my computer waiting for myself to respawn, and by that time sometimes I would even die a couple times if I was playing junk fleet and the other team was like spawn raping us, and I would just be I would respawn again. I'd be like, check my score, wait, I just died 4 times in a row, what the hell is this? It's because what happened was the game would actually spawn me in, but it would still spawn me in, and it wouldn't be like, well, it's not like I was lagging out because my internet connection was still fine. It was just my computer physically lagging, and my character was still there, but I can actually just I couldn't control it or anything. So that was fun. And then I got my friend to defragment it, I think this is the term, and after that that kind of problem went away, but it was still. Because the computer wasn't built for gaming, I still had like terrible frame rate. I had to get used to like playing at like 20 frames a second or 30 frames a second. It was terrible, and yeah, the woes, the early days. It sucked.
Right. And then the loading times too, just getting in the game itself for me. It was like half the game was gone by the time I got in. Sometimes it was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Because at that time, the reason for that actually is because back then in 2007/2008, Commerce was actually one of the top tier games in terms of like graphics and just playability at the time for free to play shooters. So for people who didn't have like really good computers, that was a really big problem. But again, it's a system problem, not like not much that Nexon itself could do about it. But yeah, the good old days of sitting in front of our computers, waiting for ourselves to respawn, and just rebooting Combat Arms all day. Oh man, we stuck through it, guys. We stuck through it.
Stuck through it, yeah.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Right. So let me guys ask you. Are there any moments in times that that you guys have been playing Combat Arms that I guess you would look back to most fondly? Like a lot of people talk about how Combat Arms was best during 2009, maybe 2010. For you guys, do you agree with that, or is there is it not just that, or is there something else that you have in mind?
You want me to start?
Yeah, anyone.
My glory days, quote unquote, for Combat Arms was back in 2000 and 2010, 2011, those type of years. That's when I most actively played it. And I think the main reason why I played it was not because of the game itself, it was because of the community, because one of the first clans I ever joined was Motivation. I don't know if you guys...
Oh, yeah. I know Motivation. Yeah.
I was under Envy and Corrupted for so long. And the main reason CA was fun is just clan warring with them. And I played just so many clan wars, and it was a really enjoyable time. I'm multitasking while playing CA while I'm doing this, because I think it's fitting to play Combat Arms while going talking about it. But yeah, and the game to me was quote unquote balanced at that point. I know I'm gonna have a half CA is overpowered, NX rant halfway through this, but I'm gonna try to suppress it at the moment because I think this was before specs became extremely prominent and NX rares were quote unquote really rare, so you didn't see them too much. And that's why, yeah, you actually knew. And so it was I don't know, that was the time I played CA a lot. I'm not saying CA is bad now, I'm just saying that it's hard to get into if you're a new player, and I think that's what defines a free-to-play game. If you can go straight into it and play it to a sufficient extent, then the game's successful. But now you kind of need to buy your way.
Yeah. That's definitely a good point. What about let's see. What about you, Royko? Is there anything?
I mean, there have been a lot of times that have just been really memorable for me, but I did like it when the L96 like GP form was just as like good as like all the other snipers.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But, now it's just like
those days.
Yeah.
When the sniper rifles are
there's,
actually
like,
balanced.
There's just like exactly. But it's just I just love sniping, and I still love sniping with my L96 like setup. But it's just like I just get destroyed. So because there are guns that are so much more accurate, and it's got so much better stats overall. And I don't know the exact time when they started introducing like more and more snipers, but like that time specifically is when like
I think it was the L115A3, the one with the shitty scope and
the deeper zoom and the red crosshair.
When that came into the game, everybody was like, "Oh my god, what is this?" And then, boom, the DSR came out.
Oh
and
yeah,
and like Nexus is like,
it's like you get a good sniper rifle, and you get a good sniper rifle, and everyone gets a good sniper rifle. Yeah.
And that's exact. That is so true. They just released so many sniper rifles. I think it was like 2012. I think in like over a couple of months, and it just basically warped the whole sniper rifle community, quote unquote, for so long. That was ridiculous. Like, I know.
In my opinion, that kind of phenomenon, like, see, here's what I think about it. The sniper rifles before that time, before the the snipe, like all the OP sniper rifles, so to say, started coming out or started rolling out of the assembly line. Before then, you could see like a visual trend. Like the sniper rifles, like I said, were pretty much balanced. Like the L9s, like you had your one-shot sniper rifles, namely the L96A1, that did 100 damage but were terribly inaccurate at like long ranges. It only has 90 accuracy for God's sake, and there are assault rifles that have better accuracy than it, or nowadays now. But and then you had other sniper rifles where if it was like sort of, for example, the other bolt-action sniper rifle, the M24, where you couldn't kill someone in one shot, but it was damn accurate. You could hit anything with that thing, and you still can. And then you had your semi-automatics, where it's never going to kill in one shot, but it fires pretty fast. So in that respect, all the sniper rifles more or less had their pros and cons. For me personally, when that kind of trend started being, I guess, just forgotten, was when they released the TPG-1. That thing was GP. It's one-shot kill most of the time, and it has 98 accuracy. That, to me, it was just like,
insane.
Okay, like, this thing is actually ridiculous. Not only that, it also has one of the fastest center speeds of any sniper rifle in the entire game. It can beat NX rare sniper rifles. That's how good it is.
Oh yeah.
And in retrospect, in hindsight, now that we've seen everything that's been going on, that is actually a good thing, because now with all these overpowered NX rare sniper rifles, the GP guys actually can have something to buy that'll actually compete well with all those the TRGSCs, the DSR-1 tacticals. It's actually a good thing now. But back then, when it first came out, we were just like, oh my god, what is this? What is this? So
what is this madness? And then the Tango came
and the
out.
Tango! And the
Tango!
Oh my god!
Tango for life.
Dude, when the Tango came out, at first I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's just another TPG-1. And then I used it, I was like, this is what the M24 should have been! This is the M24 right here!
That's what
if the M24 was actually not shitty, it's this thing right here!
Yeah, it's amazing. It's my favorite gun in a game, and for good reason. It's just
great.
So good.
It's great. one shot kill most of the time. Heavy vests don't really count for shit most of the time, and you know, the good old standard L96 style scope where, you know, nothing's wrong with it, and it's pretty much good for all ranges. And you have 30 rounds total instead of a measly 20. Like if you can go on a long kill streak, the Tango 51 actually rewards you for it. And you don't have to sit like go through your kill streak and be like, oh wait a minute, I only have 3 more bullets left, or I guess I gotta go pick up another gun now. Tango's great. Tango number 1 for best GP sniper rifle. Oh, and you know what? The Tango actually doesn't have a variant unless you count it as an M24 variant. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't have an NX variant.
All by itself.
It doesn't conform. Yeah, that's what I love about it. It doesn't conform. In any case, for me personally, the times where I thought back, it's actually kind of pathetic if I actually put it this way. But my best times of playing this game was when I actually played it a lot. Back in 2009 was it, or 2010? I'm gonna say early 2010. Was when I got a new desktop. My brother got me a new desktop, and it wasn't actually built for gaming, but he built it so that it would have a decent enough graphics card, and it had I think he said he put like 4 gigs RAM in it, which is I guess enough for Combat Arms. And when I started playing Combat Arms on that, I was like, so this is what I've been missing out all this time. This is what Combat Arms was meant to be played. Oh my God, good frames. It doesn't lag at all. Maybe if people are spamming flamethrowers everywhere, then yeah, maybe. But other than that, good frame rate. I can actually play. And then my KDR, I remember watching it grow every day. It went from like before I got that desktop, I only had like a KDR of like 1.0. Like it had dipped down all the way to like 0.96 or something like that. And from there, I watched it grow from there all the way up to 1.6, like where I am right now. And right now, at the rank I have right now, it's really hard to change how your KDR plays out because it's, you know, just how it is. And
yes, I think
so I was just like, those times were the best. Those are times when I would come back home from school, get all my work done, just hop on my computer, play Combat Arms, until I just fall asleep at my computer. 6, 7. I think the longest time I've actually played Combat Arms straight was for like 13 or 14 hours. I would go over to my friend's house, my friend Protagonist's house. Back then, we used to play a lot of Combat Arms together, so I would go to his house. I think he had a double computer setup so that he actually had 2 that could play Combat Arms pretty well. And I would go over there. I would play Combat Arms with his computer. We'd get together, rooms together. We'd just trash pub lobbies. He would go around trolling people with a Dom Pedro sword and he would use the weirdest guns ever. His best shotgun was a Saiga 12K in a time where no one really knew what the hell it even was. And he went.
Saiga 12K.
It is in arms race. In arms race, the Saiga 12K is actually when I get it, I'm like, oh yes, time to rip some for sure. Time to rip some heads off because no one else knows how to use it. Only me. And like people don't really understand that shotgun for whatever reason, but it's really good. But yeah. So. Yeah, I just remember those days as being the best because those were days where those were times where I actually started getting rage kicked on a regular basis. Like every single day, it came to a point where if I didn't get rage kicked from at least half the rooms from one channel in like Bravo server or something like that, there was something wrong. Either that, I was getting really lucky that day, or if I was just playing quarantine all day. But even then, I get rage kicked from that for no reason at all. So. I mean, those were the days that I think were the best, but I mean, I still enjoy Combat Arms. I don't think there's really anything game-breaking right now. It's just that some things are frustrating. We'll probably leave that for another topic, but other than those, it's still. I mean, to me, I guess you could say the face of the game has changed. It's just the core elements of it have still stayed the same. So.
It's not a bad game. It's a great game. It's still one of the best free-to-play shooters out. I don't think anything could go and try to match Combat Arms in any way. Like the kind of the face of free-to-play military shooters nowadays is like the Warframes, the AVAs, and I don't know, they're good games, but I just don't think there's anything unique to them. CA is just that type of really quirky game that has its own strengths and weaknesses and makes it really unique to everything else. So, I don't know.
You know what I think it is? I've been playing Soldier Front 2 a lot recently. I just got back into it.
Yeah.
And recently I found out that AVA, which I used to play a few years back when it actually first came out under a different publisher name.
Yeah, it was or IJJ.
Oh yeah, it was EG. It was
yeah,
EG.
That's when I played it back. I played it back then too, and I tried playing it again. And it was like really bad.
It was
I don't know what it
EG.
was about it. The game.
So I downloaded AVA again, and then I played it, and for some reason, just as a side tangent, I feel like AVA's game mechanics have kind of changed a little bit. I don't really know exactly what it is.
What happened when they changed like the people that was hosting it or whatever? I don't know what happened to it, but the game was just like it was so fluid when I first played it.
Yeah.
And now when I tried to play it again, it's just like I don't even know. Like I don't even know why I was playing it. It was so bad, in my opinion.
To me, it's not bad per se. I think I still enjoy playing the game, but now that I ranked up, but those were the only games where I played in like the beginning channels, so admittedly so. And then when I got kicked out of the beginner channels after ranking up enough, and I went over to like the normal pub channels, it seems like for games like AVA and Soldier Front 2, those games are really hard for other people, like new players, to get into, if because of the fact that everyone else is so damn good. Like Soldier Front 2, I used to remember when I was first trying to get into it, like I would go into sniper-only matches, like they actually have a mode that only lets you use sniper rifles, and if you don't have one, if you don't own it, they actually give you like I guess a nerfed version of one of their bolt-action sniper rifles, which is still pretty good, and I went into one, and I got my ass handed to me. Like I ended the game with like zero, like not zero, but I only got like a couple kills, and I just got wrecked, like wrecked. So. Right. So I was like, wow, like, is this game really that hard? Because I played Soldier Front 1, and admittedly Soldier Front 2 is a new game, and even though it still carries like a lot of the elements of Soldier Front 1, like a lot of the maps are similar. They brought back a lot of the old maps. Soldier Front 2 is just is basically a new beast entirely, and I was like, wow, these people have been playing a lot longer than I have, clearly, but you know, I didn't expect it to be this hard. Like, so, wow, there are so many really, really good people. So it feels like for me, like I run a series. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I run a series called Road to General, and it's basically me recording every single game that I play from rank 1 all the way to Brigadier Gen, which is the first star. And even then, I only use GP stuff. I make it very clear that I don't use any NX stuff unless it's given to me by like Nexon's gifts or something like that. I don't let anyone gift me any NX because I say I'm not going to use it. Just GP stuff. And even with only GP stuff, like GP gear, GP guns, I can still pull like a 2 KDR if given the right conditions and if I play really well. Like no matter how many NX guns that the other team has, you know. I've been kicked out of a lot of my games because, you know, they think I'm a hacker. Like I only use GP stuff, and they're like, what's this Command Sergeant Major doing with like, he's only using his 416 and an FS2000, which has got to be one of the worst assault rifles in the game, obviously, and he's kicking our asses. Kick him! Ban! So hacks. But yeah, it's, I guess Combat Arms is unique in a sense where it's very, like UCD said, it's actually very open to new players who are quick to adapt to the game and know what they are doing right away. Those kinds of people will find Combat Arms really, really appealing to them, so that they don't really have to find a need to buy NX at all, because all you really need is G36, Light Vest, Military Bandana, and Alliance 6A1, or TPG1 if you prefer. So there you go. I mean, there's really not much else to it, to be honest with you. And that's why I really like Combat Arms, where if you know what you're doing, it caters very, very well to skillful players. That and people run around with fem bases and bunny hopping with P90 TRCs. But other than that, for people who know what they're doing, like I said, Combat Arms is great. It's not like where you go into a game like Soldier Front 2 or AVA where the skill gap is so high that it feels like you really can't. There's not really much you can do to improve unless you know are fortunate enough to know other people who play the same game and can kind of piggyback you. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's that's why I think Combat Arms will still remain my favorite game. So on that topic, though, let me ask you guys, what's the one single thing about Combat Arms that you guys feel is the most enjoyable part, or is one of the reasons why it's such a fun game? Maybe you guys have already explained it. Maybe it's just a question of different skin, but.
Tango.
So UCD's reason is a weapon. Nice to know.
Yeah, Tango 51, man. No. I've got another reason. I'll think it up. It's in the back of my head. I'll think of it. Let Royko go. I'll go.
I mean, they do update it pretty frequently. I mean, I'm trying to think of what would be the number one reason, but the guns and the maps are pretty cool. To get new modes and maps released so often, it makes the game somewhat fresh, even though it has a pretty old skin to it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say on that topic right now.
For me, I think the best part about Combat Arms, actually, I'm gonna cheat here, so I'm gonna list two. The first one is just the movement. Combat Arms, for me, moves the gameplay is fluid in a way where it's unlike any other shooter out there. Maybe Call of Duty comes in closest as just how fluid the movement is, and how well you can actually use it to your own advantage. For example, for games like AVA and Soldier Front 2, those games have a sprint mechanic into it. Yeah, sure, but first of all, your default running speed isn't that much better than your running speed, to be honest with you. Especially in AVA, where your shift key is bound to either caps lock, which is a really weird button to use, or double tapping W like you do in Minecraft. That's a really awkward way to sprint. And for me, it's a it's a big turnoff, because I like playing games where I'm able to sprint. Well, Counter-Strike is an exception, but that's Counter-Strike. CS is a classic. You can't really hate on that for not having a sprint button. But in any case, I remember back when I was playing Soldier Front 1, if you guys have ever played Soldier Front 1, it didn't have a sprint button. All you could do was run or crouch. And there was this thing called sea-walking, where you would constantly keep hitting your crouch button, kind of like the crouch spamming in Combat Arms, but it was actually useful in Soldier Front 1, because it would actually let you walk almost as fast as you would be running, but it would silence your footsteps. So a lot of pro players actually did that, so they could maneuver the map around really easily without having to listen to your own footsteps. So because of that, when I went over to Soldier Front 2, I played the tutorial, and they said, you can now sprint. I was like, oh, yes, we can sprint. I was like, you can sprint. All the times I've been playing Soldier Front 1 and always got screwed because I can get around that corner in time. Yes. But then I sprinted, I was like, oh, it's not really that much faster. I mean, it was a good speed increase. Yeah, that much it was good, but it wasn't to the point where it was like Combat Arms style sprinting, especially if you throw on speed gear on yourself, because obviously Combat Arms' monetary system lets you buy things for 1 day, or in the past anyway, or 7 days. You could access speed gear really easily, and when in Combat Arms, when I put on a speed life vest for the first time, I was like, wow, I should have been buying this thing sooner. It's great.
I know, right?
It's great.
God, I had the same.
Oh my god.
I got a very good story to tell about not buying gear. I'll probably say it later on.
Okay.
It's I haven't said it in the commentary before, but it's one of the funniest things. Can I say
Yeah,
it
sure,
now?
go ahead. Yeah.
Alright, basically, when I first played Combat Arms, I like money. That's my personality. I like to have a shit ton of GP or money in the bank or whatever, be it real life or in game. So I thought, in my infinite wisdom, that I was going to go play Combat Arms and just use the M16A3. And I used the M16A3 exclusively up to CSM. That was the only gun I used. I didn't use a light vest, no G36, no M4A1. Just used it up until, I don't know, CSM were rank there. It's high enough that it took me a lot of months to do. And so I had this stack of GP, and I'm like, might go and buy some stuff. So I'll buy a light vest, and then my life changed when I could actually run instead of just walking around like a turtle. It was a great day in my life. Oh, so good. Now I just got GP rotting in my bank account. And then when Nexon brought out GP perms, I was like, haha, you suckers buying the 7-day guns. I knew this was gonna happen. Not really, but I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, that feeling, man. Yeah, that feeling.
Those feels.
The feels when all that time you saved your GP, like a really, really good, like a really. I was about to say something insulting, but you know, it's just like all those years you've been seeing your GP, it's finally paid off.
Exactly. Now on my GP perms, I've got like 7 of them. I'm happy. I'm happy with myself.
It's pretty epic, and so yeah, like I said,
I don't know what we're talking about.
No, I remember. So the movement for me is one of the reasons why I find commerce so appealing. Like when I first bought like the light vest, I was like, oh my god, this is great. And when I bought the recon vest for the first time when it first came out, I was like, oh my god, I have to get the recon vest plus 15% speed. What the hell is this? And I bought it. I was like, oh, this is great. This is. And it was just I don't know. It was great, and ever since then I never used any other vest. Like heavy vest, like whatever. I don't need that. Like reduced protection. No. I mean, I already die fast enough anyway with or without a vest anyway. So it's like whatever. I couldn't care less about that. So all the speed gear. I bought all the speed gear in the world, and when they came out for permanent, I was like, hallelujah. And
25%
all day, every day, all day, every day.
Oh,
and so yeah, just being able to move at 25% speed, like not even that much. Like for GP, if you only use GP gear, you can get up to 8% speed, I think, with a little bit of sprint stamina here and there. And for me, that's plenty. Like even like 13% is enough for me to be able to do well in the game. And it just shows you how much like movement is really key in this game, because in other games, like I mentioned, the gear in those games don't really give you that much of a speed boost. Blacklight Retribution is actually a different story, but for the traditional free-to-play shooter, gear doesn't really pose like a big, factor. But in Combat Arms it does, and it dictates just exactly how you play. And for me, that's a really good. For me, it floats right up my alley, because I really like to use movement to my advantage, like being able to do parkour shit, running around on oil rig, jumping off the rooftops from Alpha rooftops all the way down to the Coke machines. It's great. Being able to kind of outmaneuver your opponents and kind of being able to make flank routes for yourself. That, and like Royko mentioned before, the variety of weapons. The variety of weapons is, for me, one of the best things about a free-to-play shooter. Like, admittedly, it's hard to make guns different from each other and have them, make more of them, like unique ones with every single update. But that's what Commoners is doing. It's kind of their thing. Like, I've seen advertisements on other websites advertising Commoners, and there's one of the most popular advertisements that I've seen for Commoners was, over 400 guns. Like no other game has as many guns as we do. Admittedly, like 75% of them are like variants of each other. But even then, a lot of those variants are actually different guns of each other because they're buffed. Like their stats are actually different. And for example, the LA5A1 mod. That's an NX standard variant of the LA5A1 that has a sniper scope on it. And that's not something you can have on the LA5A1, the GP standard variant of it, where you can't actually physically put a scope on it. So in that in itself, it's a different gun because it has a scope on it that changes everything. And just me personally, since I grew up kind of playing games like Soldier Front 1 as shooters, like those games like those, not only were guns hard to come by because money was hard to come by, but also more or less the guns basically kind of did the same thing. Like they had their like they all had similar roles or functions. Like Soldier Front 1, for example, you could kind of tell the difference between like the AK-74 and M4A1. Those are two of the starting guns that you could buy when you bought a new made a new account. And then there were guns like the FAMAS, where it would literally rip people up at close range. But as soon as you went out within beyond 30 meters, it wouldn't do anything for damage. So I played games like those where either all the guns were basically clones of each other, kind of like how how people claim Black Ops 1 was. If you guys have ever played Black Ops 1, and
yeah.
Either that or there would be just these joke guns that no one ever used, and everything else is pretty much the same, which is basically the same thing anyway. And then Commodores came around, and I was like, look at all these guns, Mom! I can use all these for days! Yay! Admittedly, so during my first 2 years of Commodores, the two guns that I ever used were like the M4A1 and the AK-47. That was it. So, that being said, I kind of a hypocrite in that sense. But after I got out of my comfort shell of using the AK all day long or the M4A1, when like the M416 came out, I was like, oh, I'm all over that thing. When it first came out.
The CQB,
yeah,
man, that was my fave. I used that for so long. I was such a little NX scrub back in the day.
So yeah, the guns, movement, like Combat Arms, kind of mixes those two aspects together in such a way that it's just really fun for me to play, and maybe you guys can agree with that. So.
But Tango.
But the Tango, man. The Tango 51.
The Tango, man. Sorry I keep bringing it up, but the Tango. That's the only sniper I use, basically. Nah, but I agree that the variety of guns in CA is ridiculous. And that's one thing they use every single gun in this game is just like, it doesn't happen kind of thing.
I've done it. Unless you're me, yeah. But,
most people,
yeah, they're not gonna have the chance to use all of them. Either that, or they'll just pick like a few that they really like and they can rely on because they're consistent to them, and they just keep using that. Which there's no problem with. There's no problem with at all. So, let's see here. So I see that a lot of you guys, or we basically agree that Arms Race is like a really, really good game mode.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Do you guys have any? Like, I know some of my videos I've uploaded, like some of my best gameplays were from Arms Race, where I think I have this one video where I come into a room that's like 33, like I'm down 33 kills, and I should come back and win the game by like 1 kill. Is there any moments that you guys have had, like really, really close moments, or just clutch moments in general?
I don't know about clutch moments because I don't there hasn't really been a situation where like I haven't I don't know how to describe it, but there have been some pretty funny moments when I dropped a mine in the box only basically unbelievable. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
As for like clutch moments though, there hasn't really been anything too I would say clutch worthy besides maybe what you're saying, like I got into a game like halfway done already and then I finished it. So
I'm shit tier at CA, so I can't say much. I know I'm not bad at CA. It's just 2-bar screws me up so bad because I'm too used to like Counter-Strike where I'm having a nice solid 40 ping, and I don't have to go and compensate in front. Like I don't have to put my shot in front of people like I have to do in Combat Arms a little bit, and it's just I don't know, it's just weird. But I don't really clutch. I watch clutches.
You watch clutches for a living.
Exactly. That's what I do for my top 5. So I just watch people do good, and that's how I soak up the awesomeness, basically. Sorry for the analogy. Soak up the awesomeness, but it's the only thing I had in my mind. All right.
Yeah, but is there actually? I know UCD mentioned that the Tango 51 was his all-time favorite weapon. I know that Combat Arms has, if you guys aren't aware, Combat Arms does make like subtle nerfs to guns before, like after they're released. They've been doing that.
Subtle.
But
a second of meg.
Oh yeah. Oh come on.
The gun hasn't changed any stats, but you know what? The gun's just useless now. That's okay.
When it first came out, I bought that shit right away, and I wrecked kids. I wrecked kids with it, and it after
because it was overpowered.
It was basically, it killed people in like 3 or 4 shots, no matter what the range. Yeah. Like at really, really far ranges, it would take like 5 shots. Yeah, but you'd have to be shooting across like Snow Valley and dinking like a foot or something. And that thing, it has 35 bullets. You put an extended mag 2 on that thing. It has 50. Well, just like the regular one, the M6A2, I think it's called. And dude, that thing was just great. It was just awesome. And then after a while, it was just like, well, this thing wasn't just as good as it used to be. So
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, like.
I know what you mean.
Is there any sort of gun that you guys kind of look fondly in the past, where it used to be really good, or you still look at it as really, really good? Just perhaps maybe people don't really use it as much anymore.
I don't know. I'll think of something. After this game, I've got 4 kills left. I'll go and look at my inventory and look at the rest in peace guns that just.
The M416 CQB used to have like no recoil or spread. Didn't they like nerf that like way back in the day?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So that was a huge gun that I bought early, and then like I realized, wow, this gun's not like disgusting anymore. It's still really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's not flat out disgusting.
Royko, did you?
And then what else?
Can I ask you something?
And what's up? Yeah, what's up?
Did you buy the M416 CQB when it first came out, like very first permanent sale that they ever did?
Pretty sure.
When it was,
the LE. Does your gun have the LE tag on it?
I've got it right there.
Oh wait, actually, here, let me check. I'll check.
Yeah, I got LE.
Same here. It was.
I might.
Yeah, with the L96A1 as well, the first permanent sale Combat Arms ever did. I bought both guns. Had to beg my dad to use his credit card. Good days. $50, well spent.
Actually, it wasn't just $50 because the
I know it's more.
the
Actually,
sniper rifles.
Oh, no, it's not. Mine's not the LE. I must have borrowed it later.
Because the LE, the M416 CQB LE is actually a different gun. Like any gun that has the LE designation, it counts as a different gun. And when they first released it, it was so popular that Nexon cashed in on it. They put it as they basically made the price. It's the only assault rifle that they've ever priced the same as a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
It came out at $30, and people still bought that shit because it was so good. But like Royko said, no recoil. All it ever did was just go straight up, and not even that much too because of its eye tech. So it was great. I used to remember when the M4A1 was exactly like that. Like the recoil would just go straight up, and now it's kind of like it goes up for like maybe 2-3 bullets, maybe if you're going full auto, and it just goes bounce. So.
My reminiscing days was of the I'm looking for my assault rifles because I know it was one of them. Oh, the AN-94.
Oh yeah, the AN-94 TAC.
It was like a submachine gun on Papa server, and then I remember using it and how ridiculously good it was. So then I bought it for perm because it was a discount sale, and then next in like a month later, nerfed it spread, and now it's ridiculous. But that was a good time. Assault rifle, SMG accuracy. Just don't use the SMG. Use that and just like 3 shot people close range. It's good fun.
My friend Protagonist was actually one of the first ones to buy the AN-94 for permanent because he and I had played Soldier Front 1 together, and his go-to gun was the AN-94 in that game as well. And when he bought it, the Nexon actually had the AN-94 initially have 50 damage. It 2-shotted people at a good range. It was that overpowered, and he was like, "This thing is great! I get to 2-shot people," because that and the AN-94 has the 2-shot burst option built into it. Unlike the TAC op, which they removed for some reason when you forged it, which is stupid. But the AN-94 has a 2-shot function, and before it was nerfed, literally all my friend Protagonist did was he would put on the 2-burst function. He would go into any map, like any map, Snow Valley, Junkfleet, whatever, you name it, and he would just 2-burst people across the map, and he would get kicked. Because people thought it was hacking. Like, these 2-bursting people, oftentimes the AN-94's recoil makes it so that when you hit the first bullet on someone, the second bullet goes straight up to the head. So it would be like a 1-2 punch. Hit him in the chest and hit him in the head. They're done. So that he would do that all day, every day with the AN-94. And it was amazing. Even if the second bullet wasn't necessarily a headshot, if he still got him like in the chest at a close enough range, he would still down them 2 shots, especially if they had a light vest. It was amazing. And then after that, they nerfed it down to the normal damage of an AK-47, which is still really good, but it's no longer a 2-shot. So it was like, that sucks, I guess. So those are good old days.
Bit of a hiatus, guys, at the moment. That was my dad walking in. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna get my hair cut, and I'll be back in maybe about 15 minutes. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll
Alright,
carry
see
the
you
podcast.
Has fun.
So, Actually, Royko, there's a couple things I want to I want to ask you a few more things in particular.
Right.
I think this is because before this, I had actually noticed your channel, maybe about starting mid last year, and then because people had told me about you, and because people were like, hey, do you know about Royko64? I was like, no, who is he? And I checked out your channel, and then slowly, like over the months, like I kind of visit your channel every once in a while, and I saw your sub number, sub count like grow a lot faster than mine.
Oh yeah, it's been
crazy. I know.
I don't know, like it's just crazy. I can't even describe it. I don't know what it like has been, but I think part of it is just for the Left 4 Dead 2 shit that I've done. Like I don't understand it like completely at all. Don't like it's crazy.
Left 4 Dead 2, like you made some playthroughs of.
I did some custom maps and custom campaigns, and they got a ton of views.
Okay.
But it didn't give me a ton of subscribers on the like for what it showed, but like that's the only reason. And the Zero to Hero thing that I did, that's the only thing that I could even remotely describe how I got the subs I got.
Okay. But let's see here. Do you like I just want to ask you, do you know of anyone else who could possibly join this podcast whenever they can? Because I noticed that you've actually been doing a lot of combat arms stuff with other YouTubers as well.
Yeah. I like the majority of people that I do it with, besides probably like Y4 or somebody like that, who I'm not like he's just extra busy. I think that's his problem. Like I think he might even be still in school right now. I'm not sure, but the people that I record with, none of them really have that. Like they don't upload that much at all. Like most of them are just real life friends, and then some of them are people that I've met online that also don't really have. I'm not going to say that they don't have channels, but they don't upload frequently enough to the point where I would consider them to have channels, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah, the majority of the people I just play with to play with, and they don't usually have channels. So.
Okay. Let's see. So, I think, to be honest with you, it's really nice to see other people kind of grow their YouTube channels, especially on commenters, because I started this July. It'll be kind of like my 3rd YouTube anniversary, if that makes any sense. It'd be basically marking the 3rd year that I've been doing this kind of stuff, and
awesome.
Like, I think the question I want to ask you is, what was the first thing that was comments related that kind of got you to be known throughout the YouTube community? Because for me personally, it was the Exploring the Arsenal series, kind of like my main review series, where I basically go out and review every single gun that there is in the game. Because I was at the time I started, I was buying a lot of NX, and I was like, I already had this YouTube channel going, so I might as well go out and buy a lot of this NX stuff that's coming out and just review it for people who are interested in it as it comes out, to see if they want it or not.
I think what got me started was actually on my old channel, because I've had 2 channels now. Like one for a really long story wouldn't work out, but I could explain that if you want later. But the reason why that got any popular at all was because of this oil rig gameplay that I did when it first came out for quarantine.
Oh, right.
I think they got roughly 95,000 to 100,000 views, and that really shot my channel up. It got it to roughly 2,000 subscribers, and after that I had to end up making a new channel because I couldn't get a partnership on it. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things. And then also the Zero to Hero series that I did got fairly popular as well. And then what else? I'm trying to think. Just general reviews and everything like that. Like you were saying, it helps a lot too. For new guns, especially.
Oh, yeah. I guess in a sense where, for combat YouTubers, you can't really get around not doing reviews. Because I remember for me, the first year that I did this, I used to upload, sniper-only gameplays. That's all I ever did, every few days or something like that. And because to me, I was like, well, everyone else is doing reviews. I want to be different. I want to do something that really no one else is really doing at the moment. So I thought, reviews are in a sense overrated. Everyone's doing it, so it's not really if I wanted to see a review, I would just search it up on YouTube and just 1,000 queries will pop up. Probably the top one is Backstar. But if I wanted to watch someone else's, then yeah, that's pretty easy to do. But but after a time, I started realizing, what works. I need to do what works, and eventually, I got around to the idea of, if I want to make my channel grow or go anywhere, then reviews is an integral part of combat arms because of just the amount of guns that there is.
The amount of guns that come out, that's insane. there's always something to upload, you know? Like, there's never, well, like, not that there's never a dry spot, but, like, there's always more guns to review when you think that there aren't. Really.
Yeah. Well, except for me, because I actually did go out and review everything. But,
Yeah.
now I'm just doing the sniper rifle, just coming slowly because I've been focusing on other things at the moment. But I mean, I do want to get around to doing that first, but eventually anyway. So is there any other actually besides Combat Arms? Is there any other game or first-person shooter or just games in general that you're playing right now?
I do play CS:GO like pretty frequently.
Oh, right.
I do play that a lot. Yeah, so if you ever want to add me on Steam or anything,
okay,
let me know. I could hit you up with that. That's actually really fun. My rank on that, I don't know if you play rank.
Nah,
mine's
yeah,
like
I don't play rank.
Mine's AK with like the shit around it. I don't even know what it's called. It's like
I think CS:GO ranking system is a little bit different. Like it's not like the standard like military ranks, but it's like the legendary Eagle Global League kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. But yeah, whenever I play CS, it's just like I only play like the casual matchmaking, not like the ranked matchmaking because I suck. So. You know.
No, it takes a really long time to get used to, in my opinion. That game, especially, like you gotta. I don't know what it is. It's just like
it's
you
different.
gotta tap with
it's
everything,
different.
and yeah, it's so different than other like Combat Arms is so like run and gun, and then CS:GO you actually like really.
CS:GO
tap.
is the epitome of first-person shooter skill, in my opinion. Like there's not much else that you can get better. There's not much else that tops it, to be honest.
Yeah,
like you have to know a lot.
I mean, you can just run around. Well, I think the only gun that you can really just like run around and get kills with is like the P90.
The Pro 90, you spray it anywhere.
Yeah, Pro 90. Everybody gets so mad at you when you use that in ranked. But that and then the auto sniper. But the auto sniper is just its own thing. Yeah.
I guess do you prefer like the style of CS or do you prefer the style of Combat Arms, or is both of them like just good with you?
I think they're both good with me, and I like sometimes I'm in the mood to play like more run and gun like Combat Arms, and other times I want to actually take it more seriously, if that makes sense. But I think they're two like they serve different purposes as games, and I think that's why I play them separately, like as different games. I don't know how to describe it. It's like they're too different to like be compared.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can't really compare like two beasts of different, like I don't know. They're just really different from each other. Yeah. That and I used to remember. I used to play Counter-Strike, or I watched my older brother play a lot of Counter-Strike. I want to say it was Source. I think my brother played Source. And then when I went to high school, some of my friends brought in like hacked files of CS 1.6, and they uploaded to all of our school servers, so that wherever you went, every single school computer, because it was hooked up to the school servers, you could actually download the files off the servers and play Counter-Strike on the school computers, which is really cool because we all in my computer classes, like web page design and robotics, after class, or if we were done with all we'd ever do is just play CS LANs or StarCraft LANs. It was great. It was amazing. And I remember I would just getting my ass kicked in CS 1.6. So because at the time, not only was I just starting out on shooters, but also I didn't, because CS is obviously a bit different than your standard, arcade shooter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even get into CS:GO until literally CS:GO. Like, I made a gameplay of it, of just like I didn't understand what CS:GO really was, so I just played it and I sucked super bad, and then I finally got into it a little bit, and I regret not getting into it sooner. It was like it's just a different game. It's a different type of FPS than like the standard, or not standard, but like just Combat Arms in general.
Like Combat Arms and most shooters are kind of like the arcade, where you just shoot point and click, and people die. Counter-Strike is a little bit more than that. A lot more than that, actually.
Definitely.
And I guess in a really weird way, I would actually liken Soldier Front 2 to Counter-Strike. Now, it sounds strange, but in Counter-Strike, obviously in CS:GO, it has, like, unless you configure your crosshair settings to show it, like, your recoil spread actually, is not just your crosshair. It actually goes, up, down, whatever. And with the AK, you have to...
I'm not a huge fan of it at all. I hate the standard, like, crosshair or whatever.
So, with Soldier Front 2, it's almost the same way. Like, your crosshairs change, but the recoil actually takes your bullets to places where you don't necessarily aim at. So it's just I guess in that sense, Soldier 2 and CS:GO are actually kind of similar. But then again, again, those are, I would say Soldier 2 is a much more arcadey kind of shooter than CS is. Yeah, just I guess to ask some more general questions, like, I guess how long have you been just playing video games in general? I guess I feel like this is a really cliched question to ask.
I know, I gotta think of that. Jeez, I started playing probably on the what's the gray box? Is that the Super Nintendo?
The Super Nintendo.
Yeah, so I started playing on that, and I just played with my older cousin and brother, and we just played Mario all the time. But if you don't wanna consider that a game system, I don't know. But I also played the PS2 into the PS3, and before really PC was really even like a good gaming system, if that made sense. Like there wasn't a huge following behind it at all back then, and well, at least in my opinion, I don't think there was. But there probably was a decent amount. But I was a COD player for PS3, and that's like the community was just so toxic. I decided to try out a different like system completely, and I tried out, and I found out Combat Arms on a YouTube advertisement, and that's how I found it. So
right, okay,
yeah, but yeah, it was really young age when I started playing video games.
Yeah, as far back as I can remember, for me, I remember playing I think my brother said we used to own a Super Nintendo, but I think it was back when because I actually moved here from Korea. When I was like 2 years old, so I think he says we have a Super Nintendo like back when we used to live in Korea, like when I was like 2 years old or something, and we had to leave it behind because we couldn't take it with us. So when we got here, I think our family bought a Nintendo 64, and I remember playing on that a lot.
Oh my gosh, N64 was a classic.
It was fucking. Super Smash Bros.
Oh my gosh, I need to get like. I don't even know. Like I don't even know if I have the game anymore. I gotta like go buy one or something.
Like the 4 games that we owned were Super Smash Bros., Bomberman 64, Mario Kart 64, and Star Fox. Those were the 4.
Yeah,
those. Like that was my childhood right there. And then after when the GameCube came out, we upgraded to the GameCube. Even when we had the GameCube, we would still go back and play the N64 a lot. So it's like it was great because consoles back then weren't necessarily like electronically hooked up to the like online or anything like the nowadays like they are. So all the games were still kind of each kind of like their own. Like the consoles were different. Like they were both good for their own respective games, and
yeah, exactly.
It was great. And after that, after the GameCube, I want to say that's when I really got into to PC gaming and then shooting with Soldier 1, and then Combat Arms, and then from there on out, just playing everything else. So that's that for me. And yeah, and now I'm just trying to experiment with a lot of different games in general, and it's great. Like I've been people told me about games like Black Retribution, like CS, like Killing Floor, and they're all great, and just really like playing all of them in general. It's not really like one game that I hate in particular. Like, do you have like a game that you've played before and you just like absolutely hate it? Like you don't want to play that again?
Gotta think about that. Oh my gosh. Okay, on the 64, there's a Superman game. Okay. I thought I was gonna be fighting bad guys, all this cool shit. Okay. I don't know how old I was. I was probably like 10. And anyways, I go to play the game, and it's literally just a time trial thing, and you go through rings.
Oh.
And it was so fucking hard. I don't know what it was. It was just like the hardest game ever, and like it was aimed at a kid's audience. You know what I mean? Like there's no way it wasn't aimed for